Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for our bonus sketches that came out in honor of Earth Day from our Creative Memories virtual crop. And so I've put together the three iterations. I've turned two of them into two-page layouts, but the first one, I'm using the On the Farm collection, and this one is going to be a one-page layout, and I will show you why in just a moment. So let me get things switched over here, and give me just a second here. Goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. So with our sketch, it's here, and I will hold it up in case you want to screenshot what my dimensions that I'm using. Here we go. And I didn't have that much left of our On the Farm collection. And of course, it's already sold out. So I just figured let me use up what I have. It's Earth Day. We're supposed to be using up our scraps. And well, this is kind of my scraps. This is what I have left from the entire paper pack. So I had one full sheet of paper, and you'll recognize this one from my either Sketch With Me or the last virtual crop. I don't remember which one I used it on now. And I also had this piece that has our vegetable garden part on it that we took some off for our um, card. And this piece is actually 7 3/4 inches by 7 inches. So it's a little bit of a odd size, I guess, if you will. And then I had a 4 inch by 12 inch piece of this sheet, which is the one with the quilt inspired paper on it, and then the chickens on the opposite side. So what I did with this one was I took and I made 4 1 inch strips, and then I mitered the corners. So I took it at our 45-degree line on our trimmer. Oops, would help if I put it the right direction here. So this 45-degree line on our trimmer, I took it and I cut it one direction first, and then I flipped the paper over and I cut it the same direction so that way you get the corners that'll meet up. And we're going to go ahead and start to put this together. We're going to use the little scraps from what we cut off to make the mitered corners. And then I'm going to show you what I have left from this entire paper pack here. But let me go ahead and start sticking a few things down here first and get my desk cleaned up a little bit in the process. Okay. Let's hope I'm not, that looks pretty good. All right. We were on the road a bit again today, and so I'm a little bit tired. I don't think I'm as punchy as what I was last Sunday, but I am definitely on more tired than usual side for when I live stream here. So let's see how it all comes together. Whoops. Okay, let me multi-purpose tool because it's sneaking away from me here. There we go. It's a lot easier to spatula it up with the multi-purpose tool. You know what? And I'm also gonna go ahead and make my life easier and turn the page here as well. There we go. I don't know why, it's just easier to see it going across the bottom here. And I'm going to turn it again, and we'll just keep going with our corners here. I didn't quite get that seam super tight. Hopefully it's going to work out for us. It's actually just a little bit. It's you know what? I wonder if these were 11. No, it's 12. But it looks like I have to bring it in just a hair to make them match up. So I'm going to do just that. And it's just as well as paper has the little plaid on it, so it's a little bit forgiving as well. And I'll bring in that other side in just a moment here. That's the other area where the multi-purpose tool comes in handy. So this one's coming up just a little bit as well. That's going to meet up that corner. Well, maybe not. Okay, there we go. That one lined up really nicely. I don't know why. Probably because I did this other one at a little bit of an angle. Okay, so let me just do this and get this one up real quick as well, because this is the one that's crooked just a little bit. So I'm just gonna figure out where it's crooked at and straighten it out here real quick. Okay, and then we can get this last one in. And, well, it is gonna line up just a little bit. Oh no, it is pretty good. There we go. Whew. Okay, so there are our 4 corners. We got them lined up nicely. I mean, you can see just a little bit of the white, but it's okay. It's paper. It's not rocket science. There we go. All right, so these little guys we're going to take and, oh, you know what? I forgot to show you all. I have some mats and some other pieces. Well, that's okay. Let me get my other corners first, but I wanted to pull in my parchment board here. Move my stuff I had on my parchment board off of it first. Okay, so these guys, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use the repositionable tape on because I did really well not being super lined up with it in the first place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this triangle has a longer end and a shorter end, and I'm taking this shorter side and I'm putting it towards the corner. We're kind of going to create like a little bow or almost a folded paper effect coming off the corners here. So here's this one. So you can see what this one may not be the best example because it wasn't my tightest corner, but I'll hold it up in just a moment to show you all. And oops, let's get a little more tape going here. And then I just flip the paper over so that way we're seeing the quilted effect side showing on this end. There we go. And come here. It's just kind of adding a cute little extra effect to our corners, and it's also using up some of the scraps, which is part of what the whole Earth Day challenge was, to show ways to use your scraps. And the inspiration had it with a lot of 1-inch squares running around the ends of the paper, which is great if you have a lot of paper and you can do that. But since I only had the same paper, I thought, well, how can I make it still using up my last 4 inches of this sheet and keeping with the theme of the challenge here? So I thought, let's go ahead and use some of our scraps as well. Why not? There we go. So how's that? Kind of cute, huh? Just thought it really worked out nicely looking at both sides of this paper, and it just adds a little extra, like I said, accent to our corners. And now, if you'll remember, I did say this one was 7 inches by 7 3/4 inches. So I'm going to run it kind of looking at, you can see this is a 7 and this is a 7 3/4. So let me go ahead and add a little tape here. Oops, okay. And then this one I'm just going to go ahead and run in the center here-ish. Maybe I should get out my ruler since, like I said, I am a little bit tired, but it looks pretty good. Not too far off there. I guess it does help that we have this line here, the plaid, where you can follow the lines a bit. How's about that? Okay, so there's that one. And so here, I'll show you the sketch again. So these are what I was talking about with these 1-inch squares running all the way around. And then they did have what looks like a different color running through the center. It was based on a blog post, and I do have it linked in the description box below the video on YouTube. So if you want to go check out the original blog post, you absolutely can. So what I'm going to use also is, since I didn't have really any other paper to create mats, and I didn't really feel like cutting up a piece of cardstock for this one, I went ahead and I looked at what scraps I had left of the paper, and then I also looked at what mats I had left. So I had this one that has the farmhouse on it, and I also had this one that has the gray cows on it that I thought really paired nicely with our chicken paper that we were using here. Actually, I think I was going to put this one on top of that one, a little bit layered. And then you can see I've already even picked out my sticker because I was just looking at the colors in there. Whoops. So I had this little tiny, let's see, 3 inches by 3/4 inches, what the yellow one is. It was with the dainty sunflower on the back side of it. And then I had this little 1/4 inch strip that also was 3 inches. So I just went ahead and layered them back to back to use as an accent with my little bucket of apple picture that we're gonna, or sticker that we're gonna stick on there. And then I had these other two strips, which I honestly, I think this one is from Paint and Garden, but it just seems to work since I'm going to use my 2 mats for photos to create a little bit of a space for journaling down here. And then we can also use this space here for a 3rd photo as well to get our 3rd picture on the page. But we're just not going to have an extra mat to put it on. But this green space kind of can act as a mat. And this is it. This is what I had left from this. I have this little 1-inch square, which would have been great. I guess I could have used it up here as an accent with a sticker or something, but I didn't find a sticker that seemed to work. And then I had this other little piece as well. So these are probably going to wind up on a card, I guess, or I honestly am not sure. It's not too much left from an entire pack of paper. So I thought that wasn't too bad at all. So let's go ahead and get these other ones stuck down. I obviously need to start in this bottom corner. I'm going to put my other one on top. Okay, here we go. Let's get this one in here. So again, about 1/4 inch. I'm actually looking at this orange plaid line here and using it to help me line up my gray mat. And this little guy will hold on a minute. Let's get our other mat on. So this one is a 4.5 by 6.5 inch mat. This one is one of our 4 by 6 mats. The strips, let's see here. I need to look at my little sheet to double check so I don't tell you all the wrong thing. I told you what this one was, but this one is a, let's see. Okay, it's the this is 1 inch by 5 inches, and this was 1.25 by 4.25, which layer pretty nicely. It's not too bad at all, I think. And it just goes to show how sometimes you can make different collections work together. So maybe I'll be able to work my last couple little pieces of On the Farm into another layout somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe it'll show up at a virtual crop. Who knows? So we're going to just do this in there. And I don't know if I can tell if I'm just a little bit crooked or not on that one, but that's okay. It's how you know it's homemade, right? I'm going to center this one up here. And then I'm going to grab out a foam square for our apples to pop it up, add a little extra dimension on our page. I think I'm going to use a big foam square and a couple of small ones just because of the shape of the sticker. And here we go. All right. Thinking that y'all that are watching are quiet as well. You must be tired also. It's been a big weekend. Here we go. Okay. So that's it. That is it. I don't have a title for this one. I just kind of was keeping it a little bit simple. There we go. And using up what scraps I had left for the collection, I wanted to show you just kind of a little different idea, slightly different interpretation of the sketch, and a way to use your scraps for mitering your corners as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this interpretation using the On the Farm collection. I will be back shortly with sketch number 2. Until next time.